We've received some discomforting reports from the Lukari. They have discovered some unusual activity in an unexplored region of the Alpha Quadrant. The data suggests another weaponized use of protomatter, similar to what happened recently at Draconis 3. The Klingons have sent a ship out to assist with a Lukari investigation there, and we'd like you to join the operation. If the Zenkethi have developed a weapon of genocide, we must know of it at once.
Guavan, I am General Rodek, security advisor to the Lakari. I have read your report on the incident at 20 Draconis. If the Zenkethi are behind all this, we must be ready to meet them in battle. Do you have any questions? I have met the Zenkethi in battle many times. I know how they think and how they fight. Because of this, I have been assigned to investigate the proto-matter incidents here. The Empire wants to know more about the Zenkethi's new weapon. Do you have any questions? We know the Zenkethi have developed a proto-matter weapon. What we do not know is why. They have not attacked any of our enemies with this weapon. This is puzzling, considering their proximity to several key Federation systems. The Empire has asked, what drives the Zenkethi to use such a weapon? And I intend to provide the answer. Do you have any... The Lakari are just ahead, and eager to begin the search.
It's good to see you again. It looks like we have another incident to study. We sent out a number of long-range sensor probes to this sector recently. After the events of 20 Draconis, I took the liberty of setting the probes to scan for proto-matter. I'm afraid they found something. Let's begin our search by sending a short-range probe to the nearby planet. Yes, the project was a community effort designed by some of our best and brightest. With the help of our allies in the Alliance, we were able to finish construction and the shakedown cruise faster than anyone expected. The Reskova may not be as large or impressive as some ships, but she's ours, and she's ready for the job. The crew of the Reskava stands ready.
Proto-matter is the weapon of a coward, but we respect its power.
Proto-matter can also be quite beneficial, General, when used properly. The probe is away. The atmosphere of the planet is so thick it will take the probe some time to get through the interference. While the probe is busy, we can collect data from the planet's moons. At least one moon has signs of proto-matter energy. A closer look will give us more information.
Perhaps the probe's information will give us more insight as to why these attacks are occurring.
Most curious. This is a Class Y moon. It's incapable of sustaining most known life forms, but it was scourged by proto-matter recently. Why would anyone devastate such a place? I think we should take a look at the next moon. Perhaps they use the moon as a test site for the weapon.
If so, it was a poor choice. Why scour a world already devoid of life?
It sickens me to see proto-matter used like this. Another enigma, I'm afraid. This is a Class D moon, similar to Luna in the Sol system. Incapable of supporting life, and yet it has been hit by a proto-matter. Why? Perhaps some answers. Let's take a look. Another uninhabited moon, but one quite different from the first. What is the pattern?
This makes no sense. There is no tactical pattern to these attacks. There must be a reason, though.
Let's figure this out quickly before more lives are lost. Scanning. The moon is Class L. I'm picking up some ruins on the surface, some simple life forms. There's evidence of crude attempts at terraforming, but no signs of a protomatter detonation. It looks like there was an attempted settlement on this planet, but the project was abandoned. By the look of these readings, it took place over a century ago. The probe we sent to the planet is active now. It's sending data back to us. I'm detecting incredible levels of radiation, atmospheric pollution, ruins of great cities, and... Oh no. Based on these scans, I believe this is the planet Kentar, the original homeworld of my people. There are no signs of protomatter here. It seems Kentar was rendered incapable of supporting life long ago. By the Kentari. I can barely believe what I'm seeing. I've always wondered what became of them, and now I know. Most Lucarii thought something like this would happen, but some of us hoped they would see reason and overcome it. It saddens me deeply to see otherwise. I suppose you have some questions for me. Once we were all Kentari. Those who followed the teachings of the scholar Lucar came to be known as Lucari. The Kentari were obsessed with power and material wealth. Their pursuit of such things was destroying the people and the planet. The Lucari stood against those things, and for that, we paid a terrible price. I suppose you have... There was a terrible schism between Kentari and Lucari. It ultimately led to civil war. We lost. In the final days of the war, most of us chose self-imposed exile over death or imprisonment. We gathered on our remaining ships and left Kentar forever. To this day, that event is known as the Great Exodus. I suppose you... Much about Kentar was stricken from our records, including its location. Only a few Lucari know of the homeworld. My crew and I were not among their number until now. It is a shameful matter that many of us would like to forget. I suppose you...
There has been a large-scale battle in this system. We are analyzing the debris. It appears the losing side possessed technology roughly a century behind our own. Preliminary scans indicate that the battle was very one-sided. I recommend we take a closer look at some of the nearby debris.
Our scans are showing the wreckage of dozens of ships. They weren't all military either. I'm seeing remains of freighters, mining ships, research craft, even luxury vessels.
Unclear at the moment. We have not detected any Zenkethi debris in the field yet. Whoever did this was powerful, but not honorable. There is no honor in attacking the weak. I'm detecting strong energy signatures ahead. Further scans may prove to be more conclusive. Around 50 ships were involved in the battle. Many were lightly armed, if at all. I am reading traces of engine-grade plasma ahead. It does not match that left by the local craft. Perhaps the aliens managed to score a hit to the engines of an enemy ship. I suggest we advance and investigate further. This is all that is left of a Sinkethi vessel. It appears the aliens detonated the warp core of one of their capital ships after ramming the Sinkethi at full impulse. They fought with honor. For them, it was a good day to die. They are reptilian, territorial, and aggressive. In battle, they are ruthless and devious. If they fought with honor, they would almost be respectable warriors. They fought the Empire and the Federation and lost. It appears they are preparing for another war, but with whom? I dislike riddles. Let us get to the truth of these attacks. Perhaps they are testing the weapon against planets that are not part of the Alliance, hoping that we will turn a blind eye to their crimes. Once they have perfected the weapon, they will certainly use it on their old enemies. Their list of enemies is long. We should continue our investigation. There may be more clues in this area.
I'm receiving a distress call. It's very faint. I'm sending you the coordinates.
I don't know who you are or where you came from, but thank you. What can I tell you? Egan Burin, captain of the Pavini starship Bastion. Or what's left of her, anyway. Most of my crew was planetside on shore leave when the invaders warped into the system. We went into battle with a skeleton crew. It's a miracle we survived. What can I I honestly have no idea. Until today, we had never seen them. We hailed them. They didn't answer, and then they started shooting. They just kept firing, even when we tried to surrender. And then, some sort of energy bomb went off on the homeworld. It killed everyone. They finished off the rest of our ships and left. Somehow they missed us. What can... No, we had no colonies, no allies from other worlds. Until today, we were our own worst enemies. The powers that be on Povin fought amongst themselves from time to time, and everyone thought we were one step away from a global war. In the end, we put all of that behind us to fight these aliens as one. And we still lost. There might be survival pods from other ships out there among the wreckage. Could you look for them? We're doing all we can to keep life support running over here. I can't start a search and rescue operation on my own. If you have any engineers you could loan or some spare parts, my crew and I would be forever grateful.
Someone heard. By all the gods, someone heard the signal. I'm saved.
I thought no one would come. Thank you, strangers. Thank you.
Thank you. Whoever you are, thank you.
Thank you again. May we seek asylum among your kind? Please, we don't have anywhere else to go.
I've confirmed the captain's story. The planet nearby was hit by a protomatter blast. Estimated casualties in the... Check your long-range sensors. It just happened again. Another detonation.
It is time for a reckoning. The Zinkethi must pay for their crimes. We must go, now, before they escape. Whatever the Zinkethi are doing down there, we need to stop it. Now, target their cruisers first, if possible. The support they provide to their allies is difficult to deal with, as long as they are active. Now is not the time to sit and chew ligament. We should strike now, before they can destroy whatever the Zinkethi. Zinkethi warships! Red alert!
Alliance vessels. This system has been claimed by the Zinkethi Coalition. Your presence is unnecessary. Leave at once. You were warned. So be it. We now walk on the path of violence.
To battle, Kamarki. Fight well, and do not fear death.
We must fight, we will fight to win, General. The Zinkethi ships are quite strong. But we will be stronger.
I'd say the Raskavi did quite well in the first battle.
A good battle. Well fought. The honor of victory is ours. Their weapon is inefficiently shielded. It leaks kaons at a level our tricorders can detect and track. I recommend we scan for elevated kaon levels and follow the signal. The kaon particle traces lead into the valley ahead of us.
Oh, I see. They followed the waterfall. The rocks here are causing a lot of interference. We should take another set of scans to get our bearings.
The Zinkethi!
They're big and angry.
We now walk the path of violence.
So be it. Attack! Come, Zenkethi. See our true warrior fight.
You will not stop us!
Flanking damage detected.
So, there are some Zenkethi with a taste for battle. Good.
Scans indicate they took the path to the east. Why would they destroy entire planets?
They must find some tactical advantage in these actions, for some reason.
I'm reading Zenkethi life signs ahead. They are waiting for us.
Ah, good. We will meet them in glorious battle.
Enemy target on sensor. Flanking damage detected. Personal shield losing power.
They are using delaying tactics. We must be getting close.
The path continues down from here. The protomatter bomb is still ahead of us. The Kaon levels are rising. We're getting closer to the protomatter bomb.
Enemy target on sensor.
Stop them! This world must be cleansed!
Ha! They fight like cornered rabbit tar. I can smell their fear.
There, just ahead. I see guards. We must be close. The trail ends here. I'm reading Zenkethi life signs inside that blocked-off cave.
I'm reading a tunnel behind that waterfall. One that leads to the cave. We must move. Quickly. Move swiftly. And we can take them by surprise.
Look! They've set up the protomatter bomb in here. But we'll need to clear the Zenkethi from the cave before we can do anything about the bomb.
They only left a few guards. They clearly did not notice this entrance.
Oh my. That is a huge protomatter matrix. It's controlled by 3 regulator consoles, all active and cycling towards detonation. I can shut it down, but I need time. Cover me while I work.
More Zenkethi! Defend the Lakari!
Enemy target on sensor.
Shutting down Pylon Alpha.
For honor! For the Empire! Your path of violence ends here, Zenkethi.
Pylon Alpha is offline.
Soon, victory will be ours. Keep fighting!
Shutting down Pylon Beta now.
Shield losing power. Flanking damage detected.
Pylon Beta is shut down. Pylon Gamma is down. We're all clear. Pylon Gamma is down. We're all clear. It's done. All the bombs are deactivated. We can... Wait. Look! These crystal formations are very similar to those we found at the first protobombing site on Draconis 3. This can't be a coincidence. We may have found what the Zenkethi are targeting in these attacks.
Word from the core. Zenkethi ships are dropping out of water.
Alliance vessels. I am Fleet Admiral Aranzen Tarak. As you now know, this system has been claimed by the Zenkethi Coalition. Further aggression on your part will not be tolerated. This world is not yours to defend. Leave now, while you're still able.
We do not recognize your claims, Zenkethi. Your forces have murdered millions. If you are the leader here, it is you who will answer for these crimes.
then your choice is made. The path of violence. It is one I have walked many times, without fear, without remorse. Come, let us walk it together. Fight now! For honor and glory! Come on!
Target's shields have failed. Core shields failing. Hull integrity below 50%. Hull integrity below 75%.
This is far from over. Tell your leaders the Zenkethi will not be denied. Those who try to stop us will be purged, their homeworlds cleansed. You have been warned. Test us at your peril. Let them flee. Let them run to their masters and whimper like craven targs. Let them whisper of warriors who fight with honor and without fear. You may be right. They may return and bring their protomatter weapon with them. Should that day come, I hope to meet them in battle once more with a warrior like you at my side. But for now, I must return to the Empire. There is a matter of great importance that I must investigate there.
I think we've found a big piece of the puzzle. I believe the Zenkethi are targeting planets with concentrations of those strange crystals. But why? A riddle for another day, I suppose. For now, we should return and share what we've learned. About everything. Including the fate of Kentar. Do you think they managed to survive somehow?
The reports are true, then. The Zenkethi have a protomatter bomb. Unfortunate. I admit great discomfort at the thought of this weapon being used on another world, especially one in the Republic. We must know more about this bomb and how to stop it. We need to know more about these crystals you mentioned as well. If they are the key to these attacks, we need to know why.
Some time ago, there was a temporal disruption involving the USS Enterprise C. We thought the matter was fully resolved, but there was an oversight. We need to find one of the Enterprise C survivors, a temporal duplicate of Starfleet Admiral Tanay. Until we reconcile her displacement, the timeline is in jeopardy. There's one person in particular that can provide the location of the survivors, Sela of Romulus. We believe she's operating in the Cytor system. Meet me there to search for Sela and enlist her aid. Stay safe out there. If she's here, we'll need to draw her out. Seela's not easily found if she doesn't want to be. In the meantime, there's a structure on one of the larger asteroids, but the mineral content there is making long-range scanning difficult. I recommend we take a closer look. Looks like a small base of some kind. Industrial, possibly military. Whatever it is, it's running at low power. We'll get a better idea at close range. Our intel shows a lot of Romulan activity in this system, in Seela's name. Command believes she's planning an assault of some kind and gathering tactical resources. This looks like an abandoned Tal Shiar base, or what's left of one. It looks like the interior has been stripped of anything useful over an extended period of time. This could be the work of Seela's forces. They've been... Wait! Picking up enemy contacts. Romulan ships decloaking. Romulans are going under cloak. They're disengaging. Those ships were older, but battle-ready and in good repair. It's unusual of them to run so quickly. We should stay sharp. There's probably more of them out there waiting under cloak. In the meantime, we damage their propulsion systems in the fight. They're leaking plasma. As long as they keep leaking plasma, we can follow their trail. They're not trying to lose us. I've got a bad feeling about this.
Unidentified ship, you are trespassing in sovereign Romulan space, and you are outnumbered. Surrender now. Oh, it's you again. No. You are still trespassing in my space, and I could use a new ship for my armada.
Warning, ship is under attack. Target shields have failed.
Fine, we'll talk. Cut to the chase and tell me what it is you want. Ah, I'd wondered when you'd get around to looking for the Enterprise C survivors. When the Enterprise C survivors were taken, my father agreed to let the rest of the crew live, so long as Lieutenant Yar served as his concubine. She was executed, but my father held to his word. I am aware of their location, but I will only take you there if you agree to bring me with you. And what assurances do I have that I won't simply be executed? I will not agree to my death. If I agree to this, I will be held in house arrest, somewhere reasonably pleasant by my own standards. I will not be cut off from access to the outside world, and I will not be given any sort of death penalty. Further, you will allow my crew and their ships to go without harassment. The survivors of the Enterprise C were sent to a Tal Shiar prison world. Set a course for the Pictet system. I shall make my way to the bridge of this quaint little ship.
I'm reading several Tholian ships on sensors, along with some unusual temporal fluctuations. Tholians dislike anything involving time travel. We should be cautious. If they think we're responsible, they may become hostile.
This is the Pictase system, one of many worlds where the Tal Shiar would send assets important enough to keep, but not threatening enough to kill. Supplies to this world stopped when Hobus was destroyed, but the Enterprise C crew are proven survivors. I admit, the Tholians being here is new. Surely they won't be too difficult for you to handle.
Do not intrude. The anomaly will be eradicated. Leave now.
Target's shield has failed.
The Tholians were performing a detailed scan on that anomaly. Something caused it to destabilize quickly. Not a good sign.
The anomaly will be purged, as will you. Vengeance for the fallen.
Target's shield has failed. Rear shield failing. Right shield failing.
Another temporal anomaly. It was emitting high levels of tachyon radiation and chronotons before it dispersed. I'll need more data, but I think it was an unstable gateway into transdimensional space.
Scan one. I want to see what they were so interested in.
Based on these readings, I believe I've found an origin point for these anomalies. They're coming from the planet below. I suggest sending an away team down to collect data.
Warning. Ship is under attack. Target's shield has failed.
All clear. We should check out the planet while we can. I am detecting signs of habitation, but there's a lot of temporal disturbances down there. They're making it hard to obtain a clear reading at this distance.
Assemble your most able crewmen and... My apologies. This is your ship. You give the orders.
We've beamed down into an open courtyard within what's left of the Tal Shiar prison. Doesn't look like it's been inhabited for some time. I'm reading a number of temporal anomalies nearby, but my tricorder's having trouble analyzing the data. We're going to need to get closer.
The shipments of supplies stopped long ago. Anyone alive down here will have a hard time. I suppose that's too bad for Admiral Tenay. That is what this is about, isn't it? There are two of her and no one else. If you find her, I doubt she will be alive. This world was abandoned by the Tal Shiar decades ago. I doubt there's anyone left. The survivors of the Enterprise C might have left personal items behind.
This datapad dates back to the late 23rd century. It lacks power, but it should work once it's recharged. This place hasn't been inhabited for a while. Thing is, the tricorder's giving a range of time from 3 months to 30 years. We're dealing with some serious temporal flux here. That's one of the temporal anomalies. I wouldn't recommend entering its area of effect. From what I'm reading here, contact with the anomaly will do considerable damage to anything organic. That being said, I believe we can deal with this. Stand over there, and between the two of us, we should be able to nullify the anomaly. Someone's been here recently. The tricorder's picking up numerous signs of habitation in the area. By the look of things, someone stripped this area of all useful items and moved on. This gate appears to have been locked from the outside. Perhaps they knew about the anomaly but didn't have the means to handle it. Ah, there's a manual override over there near our beam-down site. We can use it to open the gates. When we disrupted this anomaly, it seemed to fracture, forcing more anomalies into our timeline. I think we might be able to use that to our benefit, though. I'll stay here and act as an anchor. Find the best spot and use your tricorder to emit the dispersal pattern again. We should be able to push those bubbles away from the gate controls. If you get stuck, I'll be able to get you out of trouble. The gate controls are trapped within an anomaly. We'll have to disperse it to use them. Looks like some of the closed gateways are rusted now. Find another spot. I think I can see a clear path to the controls. The gate's open. Try to disperse where you are. It should open an escape path for you. Excellent. The gate's open, and we can continue our search for Tenay. Well done. Before we move on, I've managed to bring the datapad online again. It might contain clues on what happened. Looks like it's a personal unit. The primary user is Lieutenant Tasha Yar of Starfleet.
Give me that. The first entry dates to 2389, nearly 40 years after she was executed. Or at least 40 years after she was supposed to have been executed. I am Natasha Yar, Security Chief for the Federation Starship Enterprise D. Well, at least that's who I was. For the past 40 years, I've been Tal Shiar Prisoner 24601. But even that changed a week ago. Our regular supply drops from the Star Empire stopped 3 months ago. The guards started caring too much about what might be going on elsewhere in the quadrant and caring too little about their prisoners. We were able to overpower them. We've managed to recover some data pads like this one, but there isn't enough here for us to call for help or escape. I'm leaving this record in case anyone comes looking for us. Sela, if you find this, I still love you. I've missed you. Lieutenant Yar was supposed to have been executed. My father said it happened. There were witnesses. How can... Clearly, there was some judicious alteration of history. The Enterprise C survivors were here, but something drove them away. Something more than the loss of supplies. We should continue looking for the survivors. Your duplicate of Tanae may yet be alive on this rock. It would not have been the first time. No doubt he thought she might still have been useful in some way. I can see the pity in your eyes. Keep it. His decision allowed me to become the person I am. I do not regret that.
Look! There's a path ahead! This anomaly looks more stable than the others. Probably less deadly, but let's not find out now.
The generators died and no one knows why. Richard thinks it might have been the big predators. Tanae thinks she might be able to salvage some of the parts. I hope she can. She's been glaring over the remains for the last 3 hours. 2 more dead. We can't stay here. The animals know the fence won't harm them anymore. I rigged an early warning system using a trick I learned growing up on Turkana 4, but that won't stop them. We took a vote, and we're moving. We'll build a new settlement in the old secondary supply bunker the Tal Shiar abandoned 20 years ago. The surviving guard has agreed to guide us there. Loyalty to the Tal Shiar fades when you've been stranded with the inmates. Lieutenant Yar never discussed Turkana 4. When I was older, I discovered why. She was a survivor. It is clear that her arrangement with my father was just that. Obviously, she continued that trait into her existence here. There's more ground to cover.
There's another unstable anomaly. The anomaly has left some of the rock in a molten state.
You took readings in orbit. Surely we should continue looking. These anomalies must be connected to your mission. Now, while you take a leisurely stroll through the jungle, I will be moving on. It appears that there are more survivors than initially believed.
There's a lot of interference, but I think I'm picking up a life sign. Tanae!
Go away! Leave this place!
Enemy targets on sensors. Personal shield losing power.
No! No! Please, not again! Stay away! Stay away!
It seems your duplicate, Tanae, is still alive, and she isn't pleased to see you. I don't really blame her. I wasn't exactly thrilled to see you again, either.
She's run off, but there's an even larger anomaly close by.
It looks like it was a structure at one point, but I doubt any survivors
Another
would
temporal
remain in a
anomaly, and this
ruin
one is
like
larger
this.
than the last. There are temporal eddies moving through the area, and a few stable locations between them. Now, if you establish temporal stabilizers in these 3 locations, we can disperse the anomaly and get a better look at the area. Hopefully, the Enterprise C survivors were able to escape the area before this happened. There's a stable pocket ahead of you. Set up the first stabilizer there. That's the first stabilizer. 2 more to go. Incredible! Dispersing the anomaly restored more than I expected. We should look for clues.
We found an entire grove of saplings. Richard swears the same area was full of towering trees last week. He might be mistaken. We're both getting older. I thought I saw a Romulan in the brush. He was wearing a 22nd century style uniform. When I looked again, he was gone. Maybe I'm going senile. Richard insists I'm too young. Maybe it's because the outside world has been on my mind. Sela has been on my mind. I wonder what happened to her. While her father was a Tal Shiar general, he spared my life in the end. Perhaps he wasn't petty and cruel to her. I hope he wasn't. If you should find this, happy 50th birthday, Sela. I have missed you. I only regret we were separated. Shelter ruined, last tricorder gone, half our stores destroyed, 5 dead. The hunters and gatherers returned to find many dead and unconscious. I used my emergency medic training, but I was a security officer, not a doctor. Devek might not make it. None of them can remember what happened. Without the tricorder, we can't scan the area, or for internal injuries. I suspect that there is something on the planet causing anomalies of some kind. Tanae has not reacted well. She's been talking to herself and keeping apart from everyone. A problem for later. Survival now.
Some sort of temporal inversion happened here. Some of the rock returned to an earlier molten state, while some of the building materials aged over 200 years. Anyone standing close to these objects would have been affected as well, regressed to infancy, or aged to the grave.
Well, I suppose it was nice that Yar thought of me. But that doesn't change the fact that she was going to steal me away like a thief in the night. If she had truly cared, she would have stayed where she was. My father was not cruel or petty, at least not to me. He was hard because he needed to be. I thrived because of it. The Enterprise C survivors were surprisingly resilient. Tasha's notes are more sparse, but seem to record a productive, if primitive, community. They mention a secondary site close by. If your Vulcan survived, there may be others, and they may be close.
Over here! There's a path with recent footprints. I'm reading another anomaly, further down the path. Tanae might be there.
The Tanae anomaly and its allies must be purged.
Shield losing power. Enemy
That Tholian away team must have beamed down to investigate the anomalies. This looks to be a well-worn path. Some recent footprints here, heading the other way. They might have run into Tholians.
It seems your Vulcan passed this way recently. Perhaps the cavern mentioned Natasha's logs is nearby. We should follow the tracks. It seems many of the refugees would be alive if it weren't for the anomalies.
I'm detecting signs of recent habitation in this location.
Maybe we'll find more answers.
This was some sort of dwelling up until a few months ago. If I'm reading this right, there was an explosion of Tetrion particles here. A fatal one, judging by the organic residue on the walls. No one's been living here since, according to these tricorder readings.
The anomalies are temporal in origin. I watched Richard wither and die before my eyes. An anomaly appeared, and moments later, he aged 100 years. We buried him this morning in the clearing. I never expected he and I would end this way. I miss him. Richard was a wonderful partner for these last decades, a good man. We built a wonderful life, despite it all. My only regret is that Sela never got to know how kind and brave Richard was. He'd have been such a wonderful stepfather. Tanae hasn't been seen in days. I'm worried she won't come back. I'm worried she will. I thought her strange behavior might be a degenerative Vulcan sickness, but she was answering questions before they were asked, and she's been close to every anomaly that's happened. Maybe I'm jumping at shadows. The part of me that is still a security officer on the Enterprise doesn't think I am, though.
This is Tanae. I have agreed to report the final words of Natasha Yar, and to hold this log for the future. If there is one, if it isn't here already, What? No. Focus. Focus. Natasha Yar died of a fever. She wished for the story of the crew of the Enterprise C to be remembered. They were brave beyond expectation. She wished for her daughter to know that she was loved and that Natasha lived a long and happy life. But Natasha missed her, and she hoped her daughter's life was wonderful. Natasha requests that if this log is found, that this record be conveyed to Sela of Romulus and to the Federation. Do not come near me. End.
I think I see movement in the bushes. Tanae?
Stop following me!
Enemy targets on sensors. Personal shield losing power.
No. Go away! I told you to stay away! I am dangerous. You should not be here. No one can be here. No! Not again! Ah! No! Not again!
There's a new anomaly forming.
Tholians!
Purge the anomaly. Purge the contamination.
Losing power. Enemy combatants in close proximity. Flanking damage detected. Personal shield losing
Tanae,
power.
the anomalies that have been occurring were caused by decades of temporal interference. Because of what happened with the Enterprise C, you exist in two places at once. We can fix this. You and your counterpart can be reintegrated. Your memories will be integrated as well, but the anomalies will stop.
I see the logic in your presence here. I am anomalous. My presence here must be sufficiently reconciled to preserve the order of things. I presume you are here to accomplish this. Thus, I will go with you.
All this time, she was here. I believed she was dead. Tasha believed I might come looking for her. She believed it so strongly she left logs in case. Tanae held her logs for her. And now, she is truly dead. This place has led to some interesting revelations, shall we say? I think it best we leave before more Tholians show up.
Looks like we beamed up just in time. Several Tholian ships are on an attack vector.
We will do what he will not. We will repair time.
Target shields have failed.
something is happening. It's happening again. Another anomaly is forming.
Target's shields have failed. Target's shields have failed.
I see you found my displaced temporal counterpart. Well done. An operations team is standing by on this vessel to assist with her temporal reintegration. Please beam her aboard, and we will begin the process. It is possible that I may acquire a new set of memories as part of the process. A small price to pay to stabilize the timeline. As it has been said, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, or the one. I see. Having read the briefing from Starfleet Command, I find her presence here to be most logical, considering the situation. Very well. I will take custody of Sela and deliver her to a secure facility once the reintegration procedure is complete. Beam her aboard with my temporal counterpart.
It seems our journey is at a parting of the ways once more. I did, and I will. But I have a condition to my surrender. Tell me about my mother.
The timeline is stabilizing. Anomaly counts are dropping, and our agents are reporting a decline in temporal aftershocks due to recent events. That's a good thing, by the way. The aftershocks of our recent discoveries on Pictet may take some time for Sela to resolve, however. I hope she's able to find a sense of peace and closure from what she's learned today. I'll be heading back to Temporal Command once we've fully integrated the two Tenays. Be seeing you.
While searching for signs of weaponized protomatter, one of our long-distance research probes made a most curious discovery. It found a Class M planet at the heart of the Gonkra Nebula. That's not the most exciting news, however. The probe detected the presence of sentient life on the planet. The biosigns were very similar to our own. It is possible that we have discovered a lost tribe of Lucari. We're going to investigate, and we'd like some backup. The probe went offline rather suddenly after detecting the planet. These people might not be very friendly. I'm reading a group of starships out there. They're armed, shielded, and combat capable. Let's hope they're not hostile as well. As the ranking officer here, I believe you should be the first to initiate contact. Curious. Perhaps they might respond more favorably to a familiar face. May I open a channel? Unidentified vessels. This is Captain Kumar K. of the LSS Reskava. I extend cordial greetings in the interest of establishing peaceful contact between us. I'm not certain. Wait, they're locking weapons. I don't understand. The Reskava did nothing to provoke this attack.
Under attack. Target's shield has failed.
Alien vessels, this is Prime Minister Tulaman of the Kentari Union. I've ordered our forces to cease hostilities and ask you to do the same. There's been a grave misunderstanding. It is customary for us to discuss such grievances in person. Will you accept my invitation to parley?
The Kentari. They survived. Somehow they managed to survive the devastation of Kentar and make it here. Incredible. Historically, Kentari were quick to distrust and attack. It would seem that hasn't changed. We should be cautious. Despite that, I am ready to transport when you are. The 14 sacred trees of Lucar. The Kentari destroyed one world with their toxic ways, and it seems they're well on their way to destroy another. Unbelievable. This Prime Minister has much to answer for. Where is she, by the way? And why are we meeting on the street? That Kentari on the street looks quite ill. Reading high levels of toxic chemical emissions in the area. They still use unregulated exhaust systems? Unbelievable. How peculiar. The doors here have built-in filtration systems. What's that machine off to the side? Some sort of miniature store? It's full of breathing aids. People poison the air here and charge others to withstand it. Does that fluid look off to you?
Enemy targets on sensors.
I've never seen this level of suffering. Oh, they pile their refuse in the streets. It's barbaric. There are still heat signatures on this junk. It was placed here recently.
Kill the Lucari and her alien lackeys!
I legacy hatred for Lucari still burns in the hearts of some Kentari, along with violent xenophobia. Hopefully their leadership is of a more diplomatic nature.
The lunar colony is providing just enough food to support the Kentari population at current consumption levels. The government has launched a new farm labor program aimed at increasing food production and adding new jobs. The program is expected to launch prior to the beginning of the next crop cycle on the colony. The smog sickness epidemic is on the rise. If you find a citizen collapsed on the street, call the nearest medical station. When you purchase breathers, make sure you provide for your children before you provide for yourselves. We must secure the future. The lunar colony is providing just enough. The structural integrity of several housing blocks has been called into question by independent analysts. Ministers of the building authority deny any cause for concern as tower extension projects aimed at elevating the blocks above the smog level have commenced. Jitnan Rune, number 41 of the South Capital Steelbenders, received an award from the Office of the Prime Minister for charitable service yesterday. After the team's victory over the North Capital Forgers, Rune celebrated by purchasing Gold Bay breathers for each fan in the stadium.
The Capitol building is a short distance from here.
Asteroid mining in the system has revealed a new mineral. Its primary use lies in power generation, and it could serve as a high-energy alternative to chemical and atomic fuel sources currently in use. The Kentar Energy Consortium has secured initial rights to harvesting the mineral known as Hardonite. Recent studies on the connection between unprotected breathing and the so-called smog sickness were inconclusive. Many of the planet's population never wear breathers, and none have been diagnosed with the disease. Remember, eat well and work hard. Staying strong is the only true way to keep from getting ill. Contrary to reformist propaganda, smog levels are stable and decreasing in some quadrants. Yes, construction teams are receiving contracts, but this will lead to job creation and affordable housing throughout Kentar City. Remember, as upper floors are bought and moved into, the lower floors are made available to others at affordable rates. Looking for an 80th floor view? Soon you'll be able to get one. United, Baranu the Beast Moody, number 15 of the colony feeders, has received more criticism for speaking out against the owners of the various planetary teams. Moody continues to state that the team owners are subjecting the players to horrible living conditions while the owners all live in penthouse suites. Multiple players have gone on the record that their living conditions are fine and they are not being bribed to make these statements. A boycott on all Beast souvenirs is still in effect in most cities, though Moody has yet to be suspended by the Sporting Guild.
Even here, the poor huddled in misery. What? Another attack?
Enemy target on sensor.
You shouldn't have come here, Lucari. Now you're gonna die!
Is that the last of them? Let's go inside. The Kentari have some explaining to do. Well, this place is a far cry from the smog and squalor we just left, isn't it?
Welcome to New Kentar. I must apologize for the unfortunate incidents that have taken place. You have arrived during a period of social unrest for our people. I'm afraid so. The decline of our world has split the Kentari into two factions. The reformists, like myself, who wish to gradually change our way of life for the better, and the traditionalists, who cling tightly to the old ways and all of the destruction that comes with them. The Kentari who attacked you were traditionalist soldiers. They see you, and especially the Lucari, as a threat to their existence.
It's simple. Your kind are well-armed aliens from an advanced culture. To the Trads, you're hostile invaders. And the Lucari? Dangerous anarchists from our distant past, long thought exiled, now returned. And more dangerous than ever. The troubling part is they may be right about all of you.
Minister Pentaro is in charge of planetary security. It's his job to evaluate all potential threats, foreign and domestic. The idea of working with aliens, with Lucari, will be controversial. That said, our situation is deteriorating. I'm willing to open a dialogue with outside parties.
Such a dialogue will be monitored, however, in the interest of planetary security.
Your suspicion is misplaced, Minister. We had nothing to do with all this.
You're not wrong, Captain. And we realize the need to do something about it. The privileged few are safe above the pollution, but they live on borrowed time. Ecosystems across the planet are failing. We can no longer afford to...
Prime Minister, do you think it's prudent to discuss such matters with these outsiders? Curious. One band of aliens arrives with words of peace, while another arrives bearing the swords of war. How convenient. Coincidence? Or a cunning ruse to weaken our defenses and lower our guard?
I believe you. Our moon is home to our agricultural sites and thousands of Kentari workers. Your help protecting it will be welcomed by my government. The
Saving their ships might build some trust with the Kentari.
Warning, ship is under attack. Target shield has failed.
Fight well. We're glad you're with us.
Fight on! For the Union! For the Kentari!
I'm reading concentrations of the crystals targeted by the Zenkethi on the Kentari moon, along with numerous Zenkethi life signs and several protomatter signals. We'd better hurry. They may be preparing to detonate more bombs.
Get to the moon and stop those bombs, now!
I hope your people know how to deal with these bombs, Lucari.
Warning, ship is under attack. Right shield's failing.
Increase power to weapons! Hit it with everything you've got!
Hull integrity
detected some sort of intense energy detonation on the moon. We're reading 0 life signs there. No one. They're all gone. What did they do to us? What has happened?
All is not lost, Minister. While we can't bring back the Kentari who were killed, we can help you restore your moon's food production capabilities in short order.
A likely story. For all we know, this is the precursor to invasion. These aliens have destroyed our food and weakened our military, Prime Minister. They mean to conquer us.
Calm yourself, Pentaro, and remember who is Prime Minister here. Captain Kumarke, I accept your proposal, provided there's full oversight from the Ministry of Defense at every stage of the operation. You'll understand our need for such security measures, I'm sure.
I won't let you down, Prime Minister. Have your observation team meet mine on the moon at these coordinates. We'll begin as soon as we're able.
Alliance vessels, your interference ends here, now!
Warning, ship is under attack. Target's shields have failed.
The protomatter emitters are in place. The matrix is stable and primed for effect. Let me know when you want me to initiate the restoration procedure. Protomatter matrix is stable. We're ready to begin. Initiating primary restoration sequence now. Something is wrong. Everything just stopped. Why? I don't understand. I checked the settings myself. That moon should be covered with crops by now. I could use some assistance down there. Please join me at the worksite. Alright, let's begin by configuring the flow regulators at each of the transmission arrays. I'll observe the flow rates while you make the adjustments. Curious. Someone made adjustments to the transmitters that could cause a detonation similar to a protomatter bomb. But whoever did it wasn't familiar with Lucari tech. We have safeguards to prevent such a thing, so instead of blowing up, it just didn't work. I hate to say it, but I believe one of the Kentari observers made those adjustments.
I'm far from defenseless, Kentari! Attacking us is unwise. Very unwise. Kentari!
Enemy targets on sensors. Personal shield losing power. Enemy combatants in close proximity.
I'm far from defenseless, Kentari! I'm far from defenseless, Kentari!
Enemy targets on sensors.
They just don't know when to quit, do they? Oh, automata secured. Those were traditionalists. I suspect one of their operatives was behind the sabotage here as well. I've locked out access to everyone but you and me. We can make things right without any interference once we return to our ships. All systems are online. We're ready to go. Initiating restoration process now. Protomatter matrix deployed. Everything's in the green. We did it!
It worked. Our sensors are showing a stable protomatter matrix in the formation of crops at all production sites. We owe you a profound debt of gratitude. Thank you. Their actions have shamed us all, but they will not get away with it, I assure you. Minister Pentaro is looking into it personally. He has sent some ships to escort you back to New Kentar.
Alien vessels, surrender or be destroyed!
Ship is under attack.
Fire to the sea! The Spaniards have gone on long enough!
Target shield has failed.
You forced my hand. You and your pathetic Lucari bootlicker. It's time to end this. I will make New Kentar safe once more. Safe from you and the rest of the alien filth in the galaxy. Exile was too good for the Lucari. We should have wiped you out.
Target shield has failed.
Not everyone in the Defense Force is loyal to Pentaro.
Right shield failing. More shields failing. Left shields failing. Hull integrity below 50%. Target shield has failed. Left shield failing. Rear shield failing. Right shield failing.
I've suspected Pentaro was a traditionalist for some time, but I thought he placed the people before his personal beliefs. I was wrong. His His madness nearly killed us all. And for what? Pride, hate, and fear. I wish to formally apologize and thank all of you in person. Under the circumstances, we should meet on one of your vessels. The Rescava, if you're agreeable.
This is a momentous occasion. I'm glad you're here to share it with us. Diplomacy is part of a captain's job, as you know. I hope I'm up for the challenge. Welcome to the Rescava, Prime Minister. I look forward to working together.
Thank you, Captain. Most kind of you after all that's happened. We almost lost everything today. Instead, we can begin to build a better future, thanks to you. There will be resistance from people like Pentaro, but we must continue to look ahead. To that end, we hope to work together with you and your allies.
I'm happy to hear it. Kentari and Lucari have lived apart far too long. We've recently begun to explore beyond our world. Perhaps we can do so together.
Perhaps. We've got a lot of work to do before then, however.
Indeed we do.
Well then, let's get started, shall we?
After all this time, the Kentari are here, alive. I can hardly believe it. This will be quite the revelation back home. Many Lucari do not look fondly upon the great Exodus or the Kentari who forced it upon us. Still, we may be on a path to reunification, one that lets us rebuild what was lost with the Kentari. I truly hope so.